Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Hendricks has now entered the building.
This is a special call. This is, are we connected up or do we need this? Battery. It's a battery. Special call city council meeting is being held Tuesday, August the 11th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Seymour City Hall, 301 North Washington, Seymour, Texas. All notices have been duly posted in accordance and conformance with the government code of the state of Texas, section 551.072C. The city of Seymour attempts to make its meetings accessible to all its citizens. If you have need of auxiliary aids, please notify the city secretary at 940-889-3148 at least 48 hours in advance. The agenda is also posted on the city's website at cityofseymour.org with the following agenda to be considered. It's 6:30. We're going to do our call to order, which we've already done. A roll call. Mr. Skylar Hendricks.
Here.
Ms. Nancy Townley.
Here.
Mr. Billy Hendricks.
Here.
Ms. Karen Kolachik.
Here.
Okay. There's 4 accounted for. Let's do our Pledge of Allegiance, and then if there are any citizens' comments, we'll do those. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. It's not on the agenda, but let's say a little prayer anyway. Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this city and for the council people that are here tonight. All those in this room, Father, protect us and keep us close to you. Father, we ask for diminished heat, some rain, and your blessing, your continued blessing on this town. Forgive us for we fail. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay. Citizens' comments. We were a little light on citizens tonight. Let's go to the action items. Number 2 is discuss, consider, and approve a resolution 1606 ordering a November 3rd special election to fill vacant council place seats 2 and 4. And I think we've got a resolution here, if I can find it. I've got it. 1 second. Yeah, I set it back there so I can find it. Should I read this, Lauren? I know you said, let me give it it's a resolution number 1606, a resolution establishing procedures to call a special election to be held November the 3rd, 2026 in Seymour, Texas, and appointing election officials. There will be elections to place in candidates for the following offices and place the following issue before the voters of the city. A special election to elect the following candidates. Council member, place 2, 1 year unexpired term. Council member, place 4, 1 year unexpired term. It is hereby resolved and ordered by the City Council of the City of Seymour, Texas, that all independent candidates in this election be held on the first Tuesday in November 2026 for the above mentioned offices, and shall file their applications to become a candidate with the City Secretary, City of Seymour, at City Hall, 301 North Washington, on or before 6 p.m. August the 20th, 2026, before the election, and that all said applicants shall be on a form as prescribed by Section 141.031 of the Election Code of the State of Texas. The city has no precincts. Said election shall be held at the following place: the Baylor County Courthouse, District Courtroom, 101 South Washington, Seymour, Texas. The following named persons are hereby appointed as judges for said election. Courtney Browning shall serve as the presiding election judge, and Courtney Selman shall serve as alternate election judge. The clerks for the election will be appointed by the presiding judge in number not less than 2. The polls at the above designated polling places shall be on said election day and be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Aaron Oldham is hereby appointed early voting deputy clerk. The early voting for the above designated election shall be at the Baylor County Courthouse, Free Library, 101 South Washington. Shall be open for at least 9 hours on each day of early voting, which is not a Saturday or a Sunday. Said place of voting shall remain open between the hours of 8 and 5 p.m. on each day of said early voting. Ballots by mail will be sent to shall be sent to City Secretary Lauren Bush, Post Office Box 31, Seymour, Texas. Be held in accordance with the election code of the state, and only resident qualified voters of said city shall be eligible. The mayor and city council shall give notice of the election in accordance with terms and provisions of section 4.004, 83.010, 85.004, and 85.007 of the election code, and all necessary orders and writs shall be issued by the proper authority. It's further determined that in accordance with this governing body, the city secretary posted written notice of the date, place, and subject of this meeting by the bulletin board located at City Hall in a place convenient and readily accessible to the general public. Said notice having been posted and remaining posted continuously for at least 72 hours preceding the scheduled time of said meeting. Approved and adopted this 11th day of August 2026. I didn't read all, well, mostly I did. Yeah, sorry. So, do we need a motion on this? It would be a motion to.
I make a motion that we approve Resolution 1606, ordering a November 3rd special election to fill vacant council place seats 2 and 4.
I'll second.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. It's approved. Okay. Okay, that'd be rough. Okay. Discuss, consider, and take action concerning my EDO contract with consultant Justin Jaworski. Mr. Jaworski's right here. You're not related to that attorney, are you? That was, yeah, Leon. Watergate, yes. Well, that name is. Yeah. Well, there, yes, Philadelphia quarterback. Yeah, Ron Jaworski. Yeah, he's a lot more dashing figure than Leon, I think. Oh wow, you're related to one of them somewhere down the line. Okay, would you? We have listened and would you like to speak or give, or answer questions, I guess, or? Okay,
So the reason why we put this on here was because at our last budget meeting, we seemed like our last meeting that we discussed this, we had very little direction as to what y'all really wanted to do, what you wanted out of your investment. So really this conversation really needs to be about return of investment. If we invest with my EDO and we do a comprehensive plan or some other agreement, what is it that you want out of it so that Justin can best tell you whether or not he can provide the services that you want or how in it that he can provide those for you.
I know there were. Story of my life. I know there are multiple plans. I mean, or that we can get this or this or this. For this much money, this much money, or this much money. Can you generally give us an overview of that? That might get us going.
Well, thank you for letting me be here. Again, I know y'all have a lot of things to kind of cover. I provided the handout last time. I don't know how useful that was, but don't forgive me.
You did.
I always bring goods. There's no other reason to make sure I'm trying to provide some materials. And I'm a reader. I like to read through. The proposal that I submitted, you will remember that some months back, I kind of itemized that. Will really give you the greater detail of what we're trying to accomplish, I guess, in the context of a strategic plan. So I guess before I really get too far in some of this, let me kind of just explain why communities do it. Why people take time to put plans. It's really no different than what you do in other contexts of life. You're going to start a business, you're going to finance a house, you're going to do something on a large scale. You want to zoom out and say, what are we trying to accomplish? Most cities undertake a planning process of this nature because they want to take an intentional effort to say, in 5-10 years, we want to see X. Maybe your downtown is not as viable as you want it to be. Maybe there's not the industry presence that you want it to be. But the main point is to be specific about what you see, and hopefully with the advice and input of somebody like myself can tell you what I think your capacities are. A bare bones floor plan is designed to do one thing first. It's help you measure what you have. You can't go out and promote what you think may be an opportunity to somebody without knowing the product first. So I've got to do a top-down analysis of where you are, what you have to determine the capacities. Anybody looking to come in from the outside will get that information. And the second phase is kind of take a little deeper look at your human capacity, or your workforce capacity. How do you put it into the context? I love doing that. It's one of the favorite parts that I love telling, because our perspective on what we have is often challenged when we zoom out and think about what our resources are capacity are, how we fit into the story of Texas. Texas has done quite well for itself in the last 2 decades, and I anticipate it will continue to. But the other option I think I want to highlight is your SWOT analysis, the other strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. All those are detailed in the proposal that I'm providing. They have that in their possession. Well, that's pretty well in a nutshell what you're trying to do. There's your summary. The next phase I will need to go through and actually put a plan together that says, I think you should do X, Y. And I think how I'm probably going to approach this different than maybe some other folks who are trade is that my 20 years of actually doing this lends to a little different experiences. Some folks just put some stuff together and they actually I get more aggravated with that and everything else. Being told what to do by somebody who's never done it. So, lion's share of my career is exactly that. It's doing it in a rural setting. The challenges that we face out here, they're just not the same in the big city. We have different advantages and we have different disadvantages. So, my action is really tailored to you. I'm going to write to you. When I write to you, I won't write for City A or City B or some other size. It may be similar, but it won't be the same. And that capacity, I'm trying to grab something that is how you fit into it. do that, that's a lot of input from each of you. So in the information gathering process, when I'm trying to understand that I need to get your perspective, the Skylar's perspective, the village perspective, Nancy's perspective, there's just perspective, the board's perspective. But you start to put all those things together, and you look from the outside in, you look from the inside out, and that's where that action comes from. It's been the lion's share of our dialogue, I guess, between Laura and I. Some months ago, she had initially reached out and said, "Hey, I'm looking for somebody to do a strategic plan. You know, anybody does this?" And I said, "Well, I'm trying to do that." So I guess over the years of hiring consultants out of Austin and Dallas, and then tell my community what to do, folks that never done it. I just figured, gosh, I can probably do this better than they could. So I think that's a prudent choice. Anybody who is maybe in your position, this is a good item to consider. I would say if you're going to consider it, now would be a good time before we get into the winter months. There's a lot of the engagement that I would undertake. It's going to get hard to do in November and December months. This is a 4 to 6 month process. Choose. What I recommended was the core plan and an engagement of what I would call as your leading employers. Your input's critical, but I also need to talk to people that are boots on the ground doing what they're doing, get their perspective. Soft and refreshing, maybe sometimes hard to hear, but an important piece of what they do on a daily basis. What's good for them here? What's hard for them here? What opportunities for them here? And that's what I propose, Mayor, to answer your question. It's just a floor plan. Nothing complicated with some input from the business folks.
What is this SWOT analysis, SWOT?
That's your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What have you got? What you don't got? As Mike would say. What do you have out there that's maybe underutilized or not utilized? What are some things that you just can't do a darn thing about? Just a candid perspective of what those are. You generally have a sense of what those are. A canonized writing that it's kind of important. So,
Does that work in this core plan?
yes, so that's all part of the core. So everything in core is I'm going to profile you. I'm going to do some high-res maps, some digital assets for you in terms of photography. Those end up being used later on in some of your marketing efforts, your SWOT analysis, your workforce analysis, or the action plan. The only option I tacked on there as a recommendation was to speak to your primary employers. That's up to 5. It's at least an hour interview with those. I walk through the facilities, I talk to them, run some shop, and I get a good idea of what they're doing. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't think, even with ag work, that's really gonna work it. We got the school, the hospital, the city. I mean, and then, I don't know, but then, and after that, what 18-year-old in town's gonna be able to buy a $350,000 2-bedroom house in Seymour? I mean, that's the problem at the end of the day. I mean, you can't stay here if you can't afford to live here. What 30?
Property in Seymour too.
Well, I mean, there's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath here in Seymour that they wanna charge $1,500 for. I mean, that's not, that's.
What's your answer?
But I mean, it's just like the housing market spiked whenever it got spiked. It's not going to go down. People find out they can get it. They're not going to go down afterwards. It'll just be the new norm.
And I think that's not something that we are experiencing individually, that's stated on exit.
Oh, I know. That's what yeah.
So when you look at it from that top-down view, I think Justin will be able to show us where it's not just us, it has to all those people. And then what are our opportunities? So
I'm not going to, I would say big Texas town, but all the small communities that are
got the air bases between Wichita and Abilene, and we've got all this space to give a great airport. So I would say that we have an opportunity there to grow something in the aeronautical space, whether we're building parts for air tractors or we're doing something in that. And then my other thought was pharmaceuticals, because they're not going anywhere. And, but what part of the manufacturing, you get into manufacturing, are you in distributing, are you in this or that? So someone who's very familiar with all of the opportunities for growth that we don't think of. It's like when you get into high school, you're like, you want to be a teacher, a lawyer, or a nurse. And you're like, nurse. You know, they don't tell you that there's really $150,000 out there. That's kind of like industry per se. And you have to think about what all is available around you that can actually benefit you. And then you go, oh, well, maybe we can offer this person this that we have because we're in this area and develop towards what we need. And now we have created something.
Let me throw something at Mr. George. Would you at some point possibly talk to the wind farm people or the, I don't know if AI is coming here or not, but those people, solar farm people. On top of that, what about some kind of an educational, a trade school, TS, what do they call it? TSTC, Texas State Technical College.
They only want a couple of $1,000,000.
Is that all? Well, we could get grant for that, that's no problem.
I will say they got Texas and Wichita, and in Abilene, and we're kind of central to all that.
But that creates, I mean, traffic to the town. Mainly, you get people trained in certain trades and stuff. But anyway, there's things going on around here, but I don't know if we're going to be able to tap into it. That would be your
Mark, when you're,
your deal.
He has contacts that with TSCC and all the people that are the true movers and takers and planters and the ones that look at where we go next and what are we developing. So that's part of the package to get because he has been working in this area and I sat on the same board with him. I know he has those contacts. He has a more established relationship.
I would love to see that just because I think it would help retain younger,
when you're saying so you're gonna reach out to the wind or solar data, you're saying like to incentivize, like get them to come here more than they already are, or just
training and
Well,
is
they do
there
their own training.
apprenticeship or,
they do all their training in-house, so, yeah. Like Vestas sends you to Portland, or they send you to Info's.
I mean, they send you off.
Yeah, so they're,
They normally get one employee for 20 turbines, give or take.
the new one that they're building out is at 230, and the biggest one's in the world, 40 Wind Texas, that they're hiring. So they're gonna be hiring 40 people.
And Alaska does it. I mean, New York's been doing it. It just depends on, is it your is there a need? And I'm part of this, just to prove it, talk to me about what you see when you want to know.
So is there a way to do this sequentially? You laid out the various options for us, so, that if we get through the first phase and we decide, okay, well, yes, we'd like to engage you for second or third phase, is that possible?
Well, let me explain from how the agreement's structured. So, an agreement just engages you with me to say, we want to be able to visit with you as a consultant and ask, assign work, et cetera, and so forth. I believe, what I have provided for is the framework of the agreement, which is just exactly that, the framework for working. Attached to that, when you guys assign work to me in a more official capacity, that has a longer term expectation. And there needs to be a deadline or deliverables, and a statement of work attached to that executed by the governing body. That's the course of that scenario. So case, Nancy, it's laid out in that document. If Lauren can share that with you, maybe that would require us to give it to you. The idea is if you kick it off all phases. You just want to do the floor plan and drop the major employer engagement. That's an option. It's your choice. You're the customer. You tell me what you want to do. I just provided that as a recommendation. I think it's pretty cool to have that conversation. People are doing that. Now, to be more pointed in the answer, Nancy, once you hire me to do that, once you say I'm going to go do that, then I just go do it. I start putting things together, doing what I know needs to happen in that sequence. And I give Dr. Pressure, whoever he directs me to, a weekly status report. Throughout that process, you're gonna hear me. We're gonna sit down and visit. I'm gonna get more information from you, and I'm gonna go out and do some other things. I'm not gonna be completely in the city. I've got to do a lot of my work from behind the screen, and in that process, we just knock down those phases. If in the middle of that, they'll just go, we want to do this. The framework of the agreement allows you to exit at any time. All I ask is just pay me for the time that we've done. I don't want to be bound to a scenario that's not working for y'all. I don't want y'all to be bound to me if it's not working for me. It's simple and as easy as I can make it because I know it seems like when you get lawyers involved, it's hard real quick. But that is the way I would do this. Like if y'all said, okay, we want to hire you, and we want to tack on doing a strategic plan. That's what that framework provides. You just tell me go do it, and I go do it. We start looking. Welcome to do that. If you do that, especially if you spend that time and energy doing that, but yeah, also once you have what you want. So it takes about 4 months to do the core plan. There's a lot of information gathering. There's a lot of conversations that have to happen in that process. I'm going to be burning up the other
Strategic plan scenario, not the same thing as hiring with the economic development director happening to go back on to the story. That is not the same thing. Yeah, that's just for your app and what you need to do. If you're like, I want to sell and I want this and I want that and I want this, your strategic plan can give you all the information you need to do that. If you want to hire them to do that, that's what the deal is. The strategic plan can give us all the information we need and give us steps to move forward ourselves. But if you want boots on the ground, say you want to work, that's hiring them as your economic development consultant. That's why I was bringing it back in, because I don't know what we need at this point, because I don't know all of the data that you're going to.
That's why the lay of the land is so important, and I recommend it before you do anything. And most cities that have either a department or dedicated corporations to this, have a lot of that all done before you. This is, if you forget the metaphor, it's kind of the baby steps. We're all going to step into this, and I just think that's a good idea. If y'all want to just put it on the table for a while, I totally understand. If you want to engage me in a consulting arrangement before we do that, we can do that too. I just would recommend it.
We all have our opinions, but it would be better to be better driven.
Yes, ma'am. It's empirically and anecdotally driven. I want the two pieces. I want to see what each of us perceives it to be, because it's all perspective. But the other part is I'm going to be candid with what I think the candidate can't do. And at the end of the day, a lot of this is designed to do one thing, and that's drive jobs. Economic welfare is about jobs. Jobs are what make the community go around. They provide income, they pay taxes, they provide vibrance and vitality to the community. I think within 4 months, we'll know, we'll have a better understanding of what we're getting and where we're at. And do you bill us weekly, monthly? How does that work? So if we were to engage in the strategic plan process, you're going to let me take a draw off to the contractor on a monthly basis. And then you're going to hold that last section before I do finish my part presented. And then once I do that, the material
materials you produce are those hours. I mean, okay.
And they're gonna be used in the future. That's the point, is you wanna be able to pull those out. That's why I'm gonna give you some digital assets to use. Let's say just in a scenario analysis, you say, we need some help and support, but you go to the next line. I would say, I'm happy to do that, but I'm immediately gonna come back to you and say, I need some of these. I don't have any tools in my toolbox. I can't go burn a rod without a welder or a drop and, anything else that you're gonna do. Your first step is to put some tools.
It's totally a council decision, but to get this kicked off, what would have to happen? Do we need to, do you present a contract to us? Do we?
Execute that either in part or in whole. In part would just be the consulting agreement, and whole would be the consulting agreement plus exhibit B, which is.
We could, I know we could get you paid within a year, 2 at the most, 3 at the outside.
As long as you get paid. I know this is kind of new, and I want to answer the question. Typically, I know we tried to go through this process, you want to have a workshop to kind of go through and list the questions and what this looks like, really, how does this make sense? And it not only trains me to you, hopefully it gives you a mind's eye of how people like me do what we do and why we do what we do and why Texas City could probably also do it.
Any more?
I'm sorry.
Super informal, like what your thoughts are so far, like your initial SWOT, just looking at Seymour and planning. So I know if I was looking at it as a selling point to try to come here, I would have already done a little bit of homework and thinking about what's the potential here.
Yes, but that's what you would pay me to do.
I said super informal, like without giving away any dollars.
Sure. Let's just roll that button down.
Give me the sample.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta send the sample out.
All the way here, Dr. Brasher, let's go for it. Rural Texas is in a position and has been for the last 10 years to remake this. I think what has dawned upon me over that time period is watching how a lot of communities at first step apologizing for their own. And that kind of struck me a little bit as I went to some of the events that I've done over the years in Orlando, Chicago, New York, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. They just play by a different beat. And by doing what they did, they've essentially driven out a lot of the business that was in that core of their economy. They really haven't just drove it out. One example was in aviation. We had a lot of people that were at Alliance Airport, Delta International, private capacity. And the governing institution of those just kind of got vicious about some things. Price hiked, and a lot of people that were there commercially exited. Well, where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? Where did they go? They went to Granbury, Weatherford, and Denton, Decatur. Those communities weren't ready for that. They just weren't. The explosion that went there was a good thing. It was a great thing. It had been better if they had given a thought process to. So when I put Seymour in context, I see you guys are somewhat geographically isolated, but you're also in a position where a lot of people are exiting those companies. And part of your job, one of your first jobs in this role, in this line of work, is to scream very loudly with the megaphone who you are and what you are. So what happened also in those districts during COVID was mom and dad didn't like what they saw. Where did they go? They went to Granbury ISD, Weatherford ISD, Decatur ISD. My mother worked for the city of they left those cities. They didn't like what they saw. And all the other outlying areas exploded. One of my dear friends was in a little place called Sherman, Texas. That wasn't much to do in North Texas 20 years ago. It is now the home of a multi-billion-dollar semiconductor factory that is no longer producing chips in Singapore, but we're going to do them on the Western Star State. Now, do I think you're a semiconductor plant? No. I think you're right for industry that has been alienated by its larger, medium-sized and metroplex businesses that guys need to scream a little louder about who you are, the parents, and then look at the other pieces for jobs. Those two pieces have been successful. I don't want to go too far into what else I think y'all should do, but it's been my experience professionally. Rural markets have been, I'm very, that's a good example. I've been at Shaken, I should use a cookie example. That's a champagne bottle. And when you pop the cork off and just let a little bit flow, you find that there are really been some things way over the top. Not always, but in some cases, when you organize and meet to that demand, it's quite surprising. And part of what I communicate with Nancy is nobody plans to fail. Nobody sits down and says, I'm going to do a horrible way. But we do fail to plan sometimes. We plan for the future of our kids. I know with my kids, I'm thinking when they're 20 and 30 now, and 13 and 12. I'm worried about, we're going to find the spouse. Where are we going to be? What's the education? What's the employment opportunities? But we need to employ that same thought to our communities. Treat them like our kids. And I know they'll really care about it at home. And this is a way to be intentional about we want to start paving the road. And it's in that slide, I think there's a picture of the truth. It's true planning. It's very much true planning. I think there are benefits of the 16 buildings. Maybe as you see, go down the road. Even if what you did didn't work out exactly the way you hoped you intended, it's better to fail trying than to try excellent nothing. Because you miss 100% of the shots, you don't take it all right. So this is about just getting a little more organized, trying to put somebody like me in a place of health that I what I would do. I will promise you, I will be 100% Texan with you. I'll be candid about what I think you can and can't do. I'm not going to tell you something that's unrealistic or unhealthy. Right here. You tell my mother that when I was doing trigonometry calculator, she said, "Just you can't do it."
A lot of the folks I see were never really seen, so they don't know what the world looks like. If you go off and come back, you see a lot more potential. I went all over, came back here after a
It
lot of
opens your eyes. It does. It makes you appreciate home more. And the third thing, the main thing, I think I mentioned this last time, is it makes you want to preserve it. So the number one way to preserve it is to make sure there's a way. That's your number one thing. I got to shit my kids off in that concept. So sometimes we get desensitized to what we do have here.
Yes.
We take it for granted, and then I'll have my grandkids come or my children, and they'll point out something that I drive by 20 times a week, and it's like, that is pretty cool. That is something nice.
I think we'll see, you'll have some business retention, expansion opportunities these days. Whereas, if Justin goes and talks to Contact, which is actually Quick Creek, which is located in Georgia, right? So it's not small anymore, it's not Harmon, it's all national. That, what opportunities do we have to hire an extra 20 people out there? What do we need? What does Seymour need to provide? What can we do to incentivize that? And we do, while we have often argued that we have no tools in our toolkit because we have no sales tax dollars, the state of Texas allows us to negotiate our utilities, negotiate property taxes, and do sales tax payments. And so our reimbursement. We do have a small amount of tools that we've never really ever used. So if Contact wants to put in a bridge building deal and it'll hire 20 people and we know it's going to do, we're going to estimate it's going to have this type of impact, and we decide to sell them electricity for a penny less for 10 years, and it saves them literally $5 million over 10 years, and they're like, heck, we'll sign that contract. Now we've hired 20 people. Are they skilled labor? Are they right out of high school? Are they making $20 an hour? Are they, you know what I mean? And those are things that Justin has the brain to put all that together, and it's retirement he has to come.
We don't have to make a decision tonight. We can
can we push it to our regular meeting and bring it up, and then we either execute it, unless you want to do it tonight. I mean, yeah, no, I'm talking to the council.
Personally, I don't see immediately the one who put this up.
Do we have a motion?
I think if we make a motion and decide, we can talk. I mean, we can let Justin leave, we can talk more that way. I mean, it's kind of, if we want to custom discuss, I don't, like, I mean, I don't want to, I just don't want to, like, if we, you know what I mean? Like, no, absolutely, it's been extremely helpful, and it was better to have a kind of more close knit than this than in the meeting before. It was more like a presentation, this is a conversation, so. It was nice. You're gonna have to go around, you're gonna come here, figure it out.
All right.
Not in a negative way. I'm interested to know where you're, well, he said that with his property in town. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I personally would like to see the whole thing. I think there's a little bit more with his analysis, you know, the skill wants to get it back. I feel like if we don't do something, I feel like Seymour City, and because I did not grow up here and moved away and back, I see a huge difference out there. And if we don't do something with this business system, like we're talking about some young people make a profit and make a living here in the town where they want to be.
See, and it's not even necessarily the young people. I mean, I can hardly make it here. There's people that own large, like, there's people that live here. I won't even say somebody's name, but he moved here, started renting a place, live it like that. His family owns with the intention of buying, and he is successful. They make good money, and they can't afford to buy a house in Seymour, Texas. They can't afford to build a house in Seymour, Texas. We could bring the best industry possible out here, but if their workers can't afford to live here, and we don't have skilled workers here. I mean, you guys live in this community. The skilled workers have jobs. They don't need new jobs. They have jobs. They're successful in what they're doing. The people that need jobs are qualified to work at all subs most of the time. I mean,
We did have a good conversation with a builder last week. We
This is
had
good.
someone who wants to build in Seymour.
Yeah.
And we can use our condemned properties that we have on our roll to incentivize them. And I suppose with,
Does somebody live here?
no, they're from.
You got a guy that lives here. Eddie Blackmore will do it. If we did something to that land, he'll put duplex houses on it right now.
Well, we want, you know, you can't even get past, we want to sell, we want to.
Oh, yeah, he builds fast.
So this company. that-
Anything would be
that
helpful,
does
you know.
wanted to make them affordable, it's affordable.
Well, he wants to too, but he said, I'd be interested.
to build something.
Come talk to us, and we'll.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, multiple people involved as well.
Yeah.
possibly, but
Yeah, 100%.
Because there is such a meeting, sometimes they start doing a job, and they just do that, you know, some, you know, what you guys say, you know, sorts of things, but I thought it was.
Well, he don't know what retirement means. He ain't figured that out yet.
I've talked to somebody from Lubbock that wants to do the same
Something
thing.
like that.
If they have
Little
the
projects like that.
spots here, they would come in and build affordable housing.
The key part of this whole deal, and I've spoken with the rock girl from Interbank, and we've got another lead on Banker in Abilene, a small, locally owned bank over there, where we have them do kind of like a home fair, and we set them up with lenders, and they come in and they find out what you're approved for, USDA, VA, FHA. And are they 5% down? Do you have that, whatever? And then once you're like, I can afford a $200,000 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with $5,000 down, and they the check next to your name, then they go over here to this builder and they go, I want that house. And then they come over to us and we give them a lot, and those builders and that person, they go together and they have a guaranteed buyer with a guaranteed builder with guaranteed land. What we're in short of more than anything is like, we only have like 7 lots to our 8 house. So we're not rolling and going in the lot.
Yeah.
But, they can just as easily make a deal with anyone who owns business.
Do a lot, yeah.
And the incentive to go with us is that we can give them a shovel ready lot. We can do their sewer tap and their water tap and replace their electricity for free as an incentive on that lot. That way they don't have that.
Well, no, we're out of here.
Construction people, building, whatever, leave, and always places that or
No, I was just gonna say, we kind of need to be careful on, we're gonna give them this, or, and we're not talking very valuable, and this builder, Mr. Groves, Lance Groves, that approached us was like, and he mentioned something about after it's built and so then they pay us for the lot, So we're like I say, we just got to be careful. You're just giving them land, and that's a couple of $1,000 lot is the least of what they're having to deal with. Yeah. And he was big on the infrastructure. The infrastructure's here, and that's what they really like. They know they can get a sewer tap, water, electricity, and it's in-house, which, he made a comment and it's just stuck with me. And they were just looking, they've done some things in Olney. But he said, this is forgotten Texas. Northwest Texas, where we live, is kind of, Dallas, Fort Worth, Lubbock, Apple. Then you get up here and it's just,
even to afford a $200,000 house, you have to have a pretty decent job.
Yeah, you do.
And that's why I think we'll find that let's say you can afford $125,000 because you can only afford a $560 mortgage or less. That's not even that. That's probably at $75,000. What can I get for $75,000? These builders, once you've got 11 houses that you're building,
Yeah. Well, and I'm thinking about Eddie. Eddie is sharp. I mean, he knows how to do stuff.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Eddie would go build one that if you want a nice house, and you want granite tops, and you want finest cabinets and all that, that's what he will build. But he's used to building for people like that. I mean, he's building people, especially barndominiums, all that stuff. But that's just what he builds. But if he had to go down low, and had to put laminate tops in there, and had to put ready-built cabinets in there, and had to do all that, because you got to do it. Yeah, it's just part of it. Yeah. And don't build by before, you put laminate,
There you go.
need something cheaper in there.
Yeah.
I brought that up because I didn't know anything that we hadn't been reaching out for, and maybe even connections with us. We have to. And the reason why we got the growth connections because Cody Davis Scott is working. And so we had a local kid that wants to come back and build houses in Tennessee. And so it's doable. There's also a program that we need to look into, and I just got the information on it long ago. It's something that municipalities do, and I mentioned it to the Groves gentleman. He said, yes, that's how we did our big project in the Waco area. So there is a there's something that the city can do for that, but,
Well, there's some section A, and, I mean, if you can put section A, you can,
right,
but if you need to, like, we can do it. So, to your point, we need somebody with time and has context to work this stuff.
I wouldn't even mind seeing like a two-story apartment building. That would help a whole lot.
This one, I took this picture, it was financed by USDA/Rural Development, and it was South Apartment, Boyd. I mean, it's not Boyd's bigger, or just by the area it is, but that's what the kind of apartments I was saying last time, like they do in Wichita, like we talked about. But something like that would be nice, but the only downside is I just noticed that the USDA, those are like income based. So part of the apartment complex will be income based and some of them won't be. It just depends. So if you make over, you pay like the premium amount. If you make lower, you make. So it's kind of like Section 8 type, just the government.
Maybe,
Okay, yeah.
something we need to put on the agenda.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
Way off, I think.
Yeah, we need to move on with the,
Those are great
with
conversations,
economic.
great
and
ideas.
it ties in with economic
And I
development.
think
You've
we
got to
need
have
a
housing.
workshop where we just do some
Yes.
brainstorming, talk about these
Yes.
things to help guide him before we ask him to do anything. I think we need to sit and have one even just on
Economic development.
So can we do a little straw poll here? I mean, we can keep on beating.
Can we look, that would be this budget we're paying them out of this year, not the one we're looking at. So we start with,
That
right?
would make more sense, but we probably could find money.
I was about to say, should we look at our budget workshop to see if we have the stretch to pay an extra economic?
But I think
development?
maybe before we hire him,
Yeah.
just hearing y'all talking about it,
Yeah, that's
see
what I
if
mean.
y'all sit and have this conversation and maybe get some good direction before you actually hire him. This is what we want. You know, right now, you don't even know what you want.
Well,
Well, I
but
think his
we,
first deal's gonna bring us.
yeah, we
what
can't,
need to know.
even if
Then
what we
can go
want
from there.
is that, which I mean,
Talking about this
I was
core,
doing, I
his
did my
core.
homework on, I did my own SWOT analysis with Seymour, and it's like 10 pages long of what he's gonna do, but he's probably better than me. I worked in the planning department, so I know how to do that for a city, and so I did it for our city.
but I think
And-
AI versus someone who has, like, experienced growth in other small communities, and that's why I would like to hear your opinion.
I didn't say,
Well, but I'm just
I mean,
saying,
I
I would
did.
use AI, there's more, I would
Yeah.
totally use it, to give me an outline and everything else, you can see, yeah, and I would. That's what he did.
Well, I worked in, I mean, yeah, no, that's what I was saying. He would probably do it better than me. I worked in community development and planning for the city of Wichita, so I've done this before for Wichita, which is bigger, and we've done these things before working with consultants. So, I mean, I know how it works. And so I did a dumb version, I guess, because he's probably better than me. But
Well, let's go ahead and schedule this. We can put it on the next agenda. Then if we want to, we can have I don't know if y'all want to have a workshop on that. We can have a workshop.
Answer Nancy's question. I like it. I mean, I think it's a good idea. I mean, but before we can give him, we just want to know how the funding is, because I mean,
Well, or for that matter, do you want to look at salary? I mean, save yourself 25 grand and read his plan.
The problem today is, I could do one of these things too, I don't want to. But by the same token, anybody that's being paid to do it, nobody has time to sit down and look at it. So today,
And not the connections.
well, so the connections part would be after the plan part.
I know, I
So, I mean,
understand.
so if we pay him for our plan, then we have to look at, do we want to continue to pay him as a consultant to work on those connections? So that's a whole nother conversation later on. I mean, if you're hiring it based
I
on.
understand that, but I'm just saying, you gotta start. with
Yeah, I
the
know,
plan
but I
To
like
get to
that.
the other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You gotta have a plan.
but I really,
That's it.
really feel, I've always thought we, you know, you have to know what you're working on. So to me, at least
Do the plan.
the plan and did all the marketing that information. And we can know more realistically what, if we want to earn, if we want to be, what we pay for. And that's only one person's opinion, that's still.
You make him back and say, nope, y'all heard that.
I looked at this plan and it's like, y'all suck.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, I think we should kind of look at the budget to see if there's even a plan to see if we want to spend the extra money first.
What I was saying, he said it's a 4-month deal, right?
Yeah.
That's 4 is?
Yeah.
So only 2 months is coming out of this budget, the other 2 is coming out of next budget.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying, that's what's going on. And if we just pay them all up front, this budget,
No, you don't get it.
well, I know that, I mean,
Okay,
budget wise.
what now?
All right, we're ready to move forward.
All right.
So what we're gonna talk about now is our budget workshop, and,
See if we got money.
Key things that we want to accomplish tonight is one, look at the desired employee, compensation adjustment. We had some conversations last week, or last time we met. We talked about 2%. The council talked about maybe they'd like to do more than that, so we're gonna, hopefully get some clear direction from our council and what y'all want us to do there. Whether to add additional electric linemen, additional police officer, any additional budget revisions that y'all would like to see that maybe is not in here. And then, of course, we'll talk about our property tax rates. We'll talk about our road approval rate, the minimus rate, and all that stuff. And so we can kind of have a clear idea on what we want to do at our next council meeting, so that can be set up and moving forward. And preparation of the proposed budget and tax rate for one more adoption. Okay.
I thought we were going to talk about it or decide after we talk about
Action item, we gotta do something.
Would you want to,
make a motion, we table it till after budget discussions.
after budget discussion or at the next meeting? Before our next meeting? After budget discussion.
So now, and then if we continue to table the next meeting, then we can do that. Second.
Table it until after budget discussions
Yeah.
tonight.
Gotcha. So we might decide after.
Yeah.
We might say, sure, we got some money, so
Okay.
let's go.
Motion and second. You already voted.
Yeah, all in favor, say aye. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, very good. So anyway, the first thing we're talking about is our certified tax row. And so you have a choice between doing your no new revenue tax rate, your voter approval tax rate, or your de minimis tax rate. There at your table, you have a lot of information for you to look at, you can kind of go through. Looking at the 25-26 fiscal year, the total tax value is about 109 million. Change there, and this year it's in at $119 million. Have tax rate calculation worksheet that was presented by our appraisal chief. If y'all would like to, or interim chief, I'm not sure what that title is, but anyway, we all have to look at that there. And so,
Chief appraiser and training.
so we have an increase in our taxable values of about 9 million, almost $10 million. So that is an increase there. So that does equate into a small increase in revenues for the city. So if you look at the 25-26 tax rate, our proposed tax rate that we adopted last year was 0.411750. Calculated tax rate for this fiscal year, if you do the no new revenue tax rate, that would be at 0.377409. And the voter approval rate came out at 4.411263, which is almost very close to what we did last year. And then the de minimis tax rate is 0.812, the de minimis. My understanding is you go all the way up to 0.81, the de minimis rate, but anything above that voter approval rate does not necessarily trigger an election. But if someone protests, or if they sign so many signatures, the process they go through, then we would have to have an election. If you win the election, that's great, but if you don't, I think you have to go back down to the no new revenue tax rate.
So, are we still sharing $107,000 a year with like, and then city part of this?
Yes, go ahead and explain that one, that's kind of.
So in 1991, the hospital found themselves in this predicament and they passed they voted, and passed to give the 1% sales tax that would typically go to economic development and created a special hospital district, and that 1% sales tax gets attributed to the hospital every year. It's about $400,000. The only way to change that do a 4A or 4B corporation, you do an MDD, that's what I would suggest, municipal something district, municipal development district. And then you would, petition to have an election to remove the 1% from the hospital district. And then you include on that same ballot the creation of your MDD, 4A, 4B, and the allocation of that. And all of them.
Which would be a very heated political
It would be,
issue.
but,
Very divisive.
the other budget here, for the access, you're in a whole different budget. Unless we don't want to stop, I'm not that, I think, depending on how this all turns out, what we want to do, I think maybe that could be an option.
And that would be the wise, I think, the best thing that would be overall to allow us to stimulate the growth economy of our, and that would impact every entity. If people could see that and not, but
Anyway, I just put that at the back of my mind. Yes, I know it would be, I mean, I think that does make sense.
Yeah, well, they messed up, they should have gave them the, give them the money
Yes,
every time they
instead of
needed it, and then when they got out of it, they stayed with the cities.
Yeah.
Instead of giving them.
So, the decision I need to make tonight, well, you don't have to make that decision, but at least give us some good guidance on, the new revenue tax rate, the approval rate, the de minimis rate, but also,
So let me just understand what the minimus rate does not exactly.
it does not unless it's a protest or someone signs.
No, the de minimis does, doesn't it? It does not, oh, okay.
Unless someone protests, or not one person, but there has to be,
There has to be
there's a
a-
process.
Right, so,
Percentage of the voting public in the last.
so that, I mean, it goes to give us some latitude.
Yes. And so I've given y'all this, which basically for every penny that you tax, that's about, it's, $11,953 for the penny that you tax. So I gave you basically a run up to the very top, 10811, that you could go to. And you don't have to do the voter approval rate. You could do something between the new revenue rate and the voter approval rate. So, there's a lot of different options that you could,
But are we, I thought we were at the top of the.
We were,
we are right.
yeah. If we kept it the same, then we would actually be above like that. So we have to either go lower or risk it.
So, and then for the preliminary budget that Robert did tonight, I did put in the voter approval rate. That's what I would be recommending. But there are some questions here that y'all need to give us some guidance on. If we y'all want to lower it, or y'all might want to look at our tax rate depending on what you want to achieve over the next fiscal year. And keep in mind, I think your budget is, it's a blueprint, it's a roadmap on how, what direction you want to see us go as a city over the next fiscal year. So,
The voter approval rate that you
about 19. I was gonna have to do it.
40,000.
Yeah.
40.
Yeah, 40,000. Yeah, additional revenue. Okay. So keep that in mind. You have to make a decision on that now, but as we go through the budget, then that would then, I guess, drive what you want to do with your tax rate. Because, we don't really have any plans right now to increase any of our revenues, our electrical rates. We're gonna see a big jump. That's based on the contract that we have to go. And we talked about giving a very slight funds that we can add electric lighting, as the council has indicated they like to maybe do as well. All right, so any questions about the tax rate? And, so here, right here is your preliminary budget. And at the top, which is your lifetime, fund one, which has to do with your water and electricity. And so the increase that you see there from last year's budget, the increase was in the amount of electrical sales. So if you're going to be buying a lot more electricity, so really we did not create an increase that would create more revenue. So our revenue is pretty much in of course, there's a lot of factors that can go into the weather, the temperature, a lot of those factors as well. We have any extreme weather situations, so there's a lot of factors, so we could, that's what we have to monitor that month by month, because we don't know what our sales are. Just our expenditures based on our revenue, what we're generating is what we try to do. And then on your general fund, you do see a decrease there. And I had in my mind exactly why we did that. And I recall, but I'll think about it when it comes to mind. But so anyway, our revenues that were projected is about 9.17. So basically, if you go through all of our expenditures, there really was no additional increases that we did, except for we did incorporate a 2% increase for employees. There's some others that we did some adjustments on the salaries to for a lot of different reasons. It was all situational. But anyway, the adjustments that you see in each of these departments is primarily from salary adjustments.
Is that the pool? That was one that, is that just from
Yes, because we took Todd out of there.
Todd, right? And the golf course is the same, right? Todd's.
Yes, exactly the same. Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was doing the numbers. I was like, that's the only thing that would be clear.
Yes.
On our, on the, like, economic, bless you, on like the park and the economic development, since are they just copied and paste? I mean, you're assuming they're gonna be pretty much the same
Yeah, I
year
went
to
through
year?
the line items and I really didn't see the reason to really increase anything. Y'all didn't ask for anything.
No, that was just one that, since it was identical, it just stood out, so I marked it.
Lauren said that speak on economic development, because I asked her for that budget and she didn't.
So we're, didn't really know if we needed to put this in my EDO in there or not, or if it's consulting. When you put stuff into consulting, it gets divided between all the different departments, and so that's kind of the only thing that actually goes into economic development is the office. And it is like $6,000.
So I was gonna ask, when we got to this, that's why I kind of was like, let's just talk about budget, because I noticed that we have that, and I was thinking about that. My idea, we don't have an economic development department per se that we're using, so I was wondering what we would be using what would we be using that 162,000 for, because that's just a little bit of that would be easy enough to pay him, you know?
So the majority of that is shared costs, where like we break out our audit fees, our, office supply fees, our legal fees, all of that gets dispersed between all those departments. So yours is supposed to be,
Yeah.
It's proportionate.
Well, I've seen that on those line items and budget stuff before, but I was like,
The only other thing that goes in here is all of our advertising that we do. So if I hit up like a personal office fee for some money or whatever, I have to record the expense for that. So it's reported in this, and it's got $20,000. There's $6-ish thousand in there for the office space. It's expense in there, and then that's the only two things that are specific really to economic development. But every bit of advertising for the entire city is through economic development. So if we advertise for the golf course, it doesn't go to golf advertising, it goes to the advertising.
right, this is, it's tourism and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all wanna know exactly, amount of tools and supplies, 20,000, advertising, promotion, 20,000. And then like economic development grants, we're getting grants, there has to be a flow to from,
Yeah.
so that has to be in there, that was like 100,000.
So
Did you
there's
say
100,000
tools? Did you say tools on there?
Minor tools and supplies, actually that's
Same
zero,
thing.
you're right. Advertising,
Okay.
promotion,
I was
that was
like,
20,000.
wait a second.
But the grant money, so that's a good example. If we write a grant for the Free Foundation, we have to expense that out somewhere. So there's 100,000 of that 161. 100 grand of it is maybe a grant you write. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of real and not real. But in the profit side of things, when we do the revenue, we account for that. There's always a mirror image for it. So we're not attributing or putting true revenue dollars to that 100 grand. There's a revenue line item that says Free Foundation, can you give us $100,000 more?
Then you had the audit fee, as Lorna talked about, the youth leadership, 6,000, and team builder was 9,000. So,
And that's getting a revamp this year. TDCN is not sure whether or not they're going to do their leadership or not. And so Jeff and I have worked together to do, a little bit more kind of community focused leadership. It's not as, it is project heavy, but it's more community focused. And, that will kick off and we'll start taking applications in September. And we'll determine those, teams or teams. If we decide that we want to do more than that. But the budget amount requested will change. So, the cost is very minimal, snacks and things like that. And the majority of the line item is for, award money for the
we made enough money off the company who rented the remote work center last year. We
Yeah.
paid for that for several years. And we got all the utilities cut off anyway right now, so we are paying, I think, for a keypad, which is.
and it was very competitive and that and hopefully lower more just the impact from all of that
I get frustrated with it, but the minute you shut it down is when somebody will come in and I want all of it for 5 years, you know? So,
it is an asset and I think if we engage Justin, he's gonna see that and be like, okay, what
Yeah, it just sucks that none of the remote workers here in town wanted to use it. I mean, they just like, oh, we're cool in our living room.
well, and a lot
I don't
of
have to get dressed.
that's exactly right. What they said.
they really, some of them aren't allowed to work.
They rent the big offices, bunch of them. Just kidding. I was just, so basically I was saying was, is there room, the reason I even looked at those identical ones was, is there room in the economic development portion to slide a economic development consultant in there, basically?
It's the,
Or would it
there's
be
not
too tight?
revenue to offset it.
Yeah.
So all of the expenses that are large, so you're like, let's turn down our grant 50 and then we'll add EDO in there. We're expecting to get reimbursed for that grant money. We're not expecting to get reimbursed for the EDO.
Or if we turn down advertising or something, but I mean, there's not much in advertising.
And generally speaking, it's more of an expense line item.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That's a great question.
That's,
Yeah.
that's
Good.
assuming that we keep the tax rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What tax rate are you thinking of?
Well, I'm just thinking that, to me, I agree with Aaron, you know, if we're not proactive, then we come to the
Mm-hmm.
and we're not gonna do that. Just to want to stay here and come back to the south. To me, we need to find money somewhere.
Well, I know, because we're kind of on this curve.
And I want y'all to hold over that thought, but I want to finish with this, okay? And I can answer any questions y'all want, or if you want to come by, and I can go line by line with you all if you want to. But right now, the way we got it set up, the voter approval rate, was $23,794 in the black. Now, we are still waiting on our insurance, premium, quote. And we feel like that we're going to be on the higher end, is kind of what we've been under currents that we've been hearing. And we've already put a number in there, it was kind of a middle top number. But when that comes in, we could eat up that 23,000 in a hurry, maybe more, so we may have to go ahead and cut, some things in here just to balance the budget. So if you want to add something different, if you want to give a bigger raise, or if you want to add another employee, or whatever it is that you want to do, you're going to have to cut, or you're going to have to increase your tax rate, or we could increase water rate a little bit, or I hate to touch the electric rate, because it's always going to be as we do it. But we got to find some different revenue somewhere based on what you want to do.
Are your proposed right now with the new lineman and new police officer?
Yes, inside this budget, we did put, I was going to this one, it's a great question, thank you. We did add the additional lineman in there, we added the, police officer, and of course, we gave it 2%, because I thought that was a good number to start, just to kind of see where we landed. That way we would at least have a baseline for y'all to decide where we're going to go forward. But also on the council request, I sit down with some of the supervisors, and like the maintenance flywheel ring gear for repair, for the road grader, I told Ronnie, I said, let's just go ahead and get that done, let's kind of watch our budget, so let's get that done. Additional transformers, I think we have money in there to do that. And then we did have some good news on our, substation, there was no major issues there. We're going to do a bit of work on one issue, so
Not catastrophic.
catastrophic, because let me just give y'all a rundown of that. So, Brazos was there with their substation, and while they were evaluating theirs, they shot their laser gun at ours, and there were some red flags, electrical terminology of it. So John told me, so I called Synergy and said, hey, we need someone to come in here and evaluate our substation. I don't want it to blow up or quit, and then we had electricity for a week or two, and so they sent a guy down here with a drone, he got us in there, he did check it, so I think it was money well spent. We can say that now, I haven't bill yet, but, John Joyce has the resources, the experience, the tools to do that themselves. So in any case, came back, I think we're in great shape there, they didn't see major issues, but there are going to be some little work on, getting the other units online. And I think that's going to be a huge cost, but it will be a cost there. So, anyway, but I did ask him to do these additional transformers. So there were some of these things that we could knock out. So, but other than that, really, like on the siren system, we actually got a quote back on that. Mark was copied on that email. I think it was like $156,000. So I asked Mark what to do. At this point, that was one of y'all's top on the authority. He suggested we just kind of let that sit for a minute.
We're, John Hostas is talking to place in Wichita Falls. Radio, they do radios.
It's like $100,000 more than thought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So the reason I'm telling y'all that, we haven't plugged anything else in at this point. There's some of these things that we can do in-house with our current budget, that we can have built in. And then there's some grants that we're trying to get, and we've already in the process of applying for some of those. But just so y'all know, we've not done anything really with this at this point.
I briefly talked with Jeff that, I want to make sure we retain our experienced people. And we have at least one department that I know of that, whether it's a real or a city, they're underpaid, police department, they're always in jail, and the sheriff's department, significantly less. And you can argue, maybe down in this one, but I would like to know, I asked, all of these salary surveys that have flaws in them, it's hard to figure out this now, or is it that I would like to make sure that we're paying, I know that they will get oriented and then go to the next county. Is that cost money?
I guess, the only way we compare it is places like Mundy or Throckmorton or Alney.
Yeah, I was asking with, local, that there's gotta be something with TML and some state survey, obviously we don't have to compare ourselves to Dallas or.
Right, of course.
But, there's gotta be some small, like, communities of 5,000 people, survey out there that TML is trying to put on the panel.
I can find something out there. If not, we can do some work.
Well, I was going to bring it in here, whether, whatever, $100,000 in the budget might be possible, just to take care of the people.
Yeah.
Right.
I just hate that they compare themselves to the sheriff's department because we can't compete with that. Because that's the state just like wrote a huge check for all of them. It washed us out. It just made it.
We are working with the legislature right now, trying to help them understand that. Some of it, but maybe they'll
Right.
Give us some money as well. But a perfect example of what Nancy's talking about is that, we lost Jonathan Olinger to contact out here. And they started off at 20-something, but obviously up to 22, whatever that number was. And I did try to counter that and offer them more money, but we kind of had to get time to go where it to go.
And some people are going to make sure.
Yeah, they're good.
But I do, yes, every other one.
No, I wasn't.
The sheriff's rates, but a 2% raise, I may not have it, but I don't know as much about the rest of our departments. How they're paid compared to others. And then, of course, with the way most people come in and all that, it's pretty tempting.
Absolutely.
I just got hired out there. It's not bad.
Well, I think Bryce had a point, though, now you're talking about insurance, you're talking about at the end of the year, getting sick leave back. So that, he said, all that stuff adds up that they don't get.
Yeah.
Well,
benefits that they don't realize until they lose it.
Yeah, and also, well, they have no hospitalization or no health
I was
insurance.
joking. I was just making a joke. Yeah.
That's true. That may well,
It's just what you could be missing out on, kind of.
Well, we did all these things intentionally to build our morale, to build our culture, and to keep good employees. But you know, sometimes they get used to it, and then all of a sudden,
Complacent. Yeah.
complacency
Complacency sets in
expected, and you're
quickly.
the worst thing for me is
Yeah, well, and we talked about in the, or it had been talked about in the past that if they ever weren't really that happy, then some smaller communities merge their city and their sheriff together and just have an agreement that we give you a little bit of money and you also police in town, and that would really be unfortunate. But I mean, that's something that I know it was tossed around a few years ago whenever that raise came out.
Mainly that the sheriff's department, and this is from, I know this to be true, and the sheriff reiterated this in line last week, that they cannot enforce city ordinances.
Yeah.
Which make it difficult to do for your force management.
You'd have to have a separate
And I think
code
the biggest
enforcement.
problem is the company is control.
No,
And
absolutely.
Once you lose it, it's gone.
I'm not suggesting that as an idea. I just know that whenever they got their raise, it was something that was talked about quite heavily
And there
for a
was
minute
actually
there.
one municipality I read about 3 months ago that actually did that, but did not afford it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
You know, we may be forced into that at some point.
I think it's what Scott said, if you're ever forced into it, you would have that.
And you gotta do it for that business.
But
But moving forward, so this is kind of what, I've done my best to do what y'all want, plug this in. This is where we're at right now under the proposed tax rate, the proposed approval rate, excuse me. So, I guess what I need from y'all, I know, just now, like I suggested, looking at going up at some point to the administrative dollar to do more. You don't have to where we are. Are there anything here that y'all want us to fund?
We did vote our approval rate last year.
Did we know? Yeah. So our tax rate won't change very little, you know, 100 pennies or,
Yeah.
If you go back to where it was.
but if we, you know, it's just, the idea of cutting, we know we have to get rid of taxes, but, you know, if we're for it, we're just gonna know that it's something we probably is better.
There's about 400,000, yeah.
Some of that was incorporated. Like the 2% is incorporated. The number 5,
That's your line.
that does increase the, that actually is what we are moving. But that line would be covered by, so what would be the cost? And then your current budget also has the one. So it's best possible this was.
there was I was trying to be prepared. It was a super small increase, but why did the chamber want more money?
Well, I got that on the agenda for y'all to talk about.
Okay.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah, it's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah.
So-
I just noted that it was like a small increase. But I'm like, why do they need more money exactly? 'Cause-
I'm
and
gonna
I wanted to
suggest
kind of want to know what the return on that
Thank
investment
you.
would be.
And that's part of the conversation. So,
Okay.
yeah, we definitely need to hit on that.
This looks like mayor raised to 20,000 a year. I mean, I
We
guess.
did. You're right about that.
Hey, listen, I want $400 a month for you.
Hey,
4 for you and 3 for us. You get $100 a month.
So, what are y'all's thoughts on this?
So, what are the latest inflation numbers, 1% or something like that?
I always go about 3%. Generally speaking. So, depends on who wins the next election. Democrats.
Sometimes I think we're good, even though I could give them something to keep up with inflation. But, I don't know. Because if we did 3%, we do,
major, just Google. It'll range in Texas between 0.8 and 2.6. 2.6 being,
how about that's closer to 2%?
I think two's probably.
It would be nice if we
Two's
could
good.
keep up with inflation, but
Yeah.
I don't know if we can add employees and keep up with inflation.
If there may be something we can do that, you know, we talked about looking at up before, so about where their salaries are now, we may need to increase that, which, yeah, that's.
Okay, so I'm, yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty close. And I mean, it's pretty regular, 2% every year, and it just compounds, you know, at some point.
That's why I was just, that's why I actually, I was just ready to see if they think about it, because, you know, if we went, somewhere in the middle, I don't know what the impact to individuals would be.
Doesn't he have a little chart or something somewhere?
Yeah, that's part right here, so, yeah. So I think you need to ask yourself, what do you want to do and how much you want to spend, and then you can look and see exactly how much additional dollars that is, so.
Well, I had gone out to, yeah, just saving that we're just Christmas and we're getting everything they asked for. What would that, what would that be? I think you said it would put somewhere in the, about $100,000 in the whole range.
Yes.
If we get everything. And so I'm trying to figure out, okay, what would it take us, and I'm not proposing this, but I was thinking about what to get a $400,000 increase. We would have to raise it to.
Well, here's my thought, so if you're thinking about going anything over the local rate, you better have a very clear vision of why you're doing that, what you're gonna do. You may have to come back, we may have to come back and set this up community, and we wanna make sure that we can clearly communicate, this is what you're gonna get for your money, and this is what we're gonna do, not,
That's why I was trying.
you'll get unelected, I'll get fired.
We get burned at the stake.
And
Yeah,
bring
but
this
that's
back.
why, yeah, that's, I know that.
Yeah.
I didn't get on this council to talk to.
Oh,
But,
I'm just being real, that's all.
yeah, but, okay, you just said, that's why I want to see if our employees are paid appropriately. And, you know, what a city responsibility is assuring the safety of our citizens. And so I could make the case for a lot of this. It's just how much, you want to argue. If I was trying to figure out, so how many taxpayers do we have? Do we know? I was just trying to figure out, so if we're gonna raise an additional $400,000 per, an average per taxpayer would be.
I was wondering how would it affect $100,000 house?
What do you think your tax rate? Maybe 100,000, divided by 100 times the tax rate.
Yeah.
Or your increase.
Yeah,
So just humorously, let's say if we went up to, because we've already said some of these things were double digit here. We've already got some of it in the budget, so let's just make the assumption that we went up to the 0.62 million. $250,000, that gives us a little bit more room to.
Yeah, that's just his wish list.
He's kind of he was doing the Trump strategy. I'm gonna
Remember,
make it,
he
I'm gonna
needs
ask for a
about
lot.
$10 for a $100,000 house.
You think he has,
if you go to what rate?
Well, I said, River City over the voter approval rate, so that's kind of what we're talking about, so.
So
Okay.
voter approval rate is 4.1.
So do y'all think we need to do that? Do y'all think it's over the limit? Or do we need to-
I'm not bumping up, but I'm kind of on, I mean, saying I like I want to find a happy medium. Like we're not asking for everything, but we're asking for a little bit more. And also I want to have a really defined, like one cheater, pretty much. That's super easy to be like, this is why we had to do it. You know what I mean? If we're not going to survive unless we do some things, this is how we have to do it. I'm a taxpayer too. It affects me just as much as you. You know, well then some people come back and say, well, I own 4 companies. Okay, well, I'm sorry. That's your birds with a bear. No, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, we would have, yeah, because we're gonna get bugged, or they're gonna Facebook blast us, or they're gonna come here and talk to you and Lauren, and they're gonna put something in the paper and write anonymous letters.
No,
Or
no.
they can petition, and but if we have the election, we need to be able to talk on behalf of it to convince the voters, the 300 people out of the 2,500 that show up to vote.
Well, but here's the problem, your position might be 50.
That's all it takes. That's why I was saying a minute ago. How many people came and voted last year? It was only like 300 or 400 people actually came out and voted, so they don't need but one little pack of friends to come up here and do it.
Everybody be jumping all over that, which is negative.
Oh yeah.
The taxpayer association or whatever.
Yeah, if they think they can lower the utility bill, they'll jump all over it. That's like one person. It'll take one person to say, "Well, if we go vote this, it'll lower our utility bills," and you'll get half the town on board, even though it's false. So that's my only thing. I don't mind going up, and I don't mind the idea of making sure that we have that money and doing a couple of extra things. I just want to be able to justify it properly, and I don't want to do an injustice of charging people more when they're struggling already, and that we don't have anything to show for it.
But I also feel every time we do the voter approval rate, we seem to survive.
Yeah.
We've never like, oh my gosh, we ain't gonna make it. And we usually always end up in the black. We usually always do it because y'all real good with money. It does.
No, it's true. It's true.
Do what?
We usually underplan our.
Yes, which is smart.
Beforehand, that wasn't the case.
No.
Last 4 or 5 years.
So you're pretty conservative on the revenue side. I mean, the easy thing to do is,
Voter approval rate.
Easy and safe.
Yeah.
Do you have that anywhere to know what your revenue increase would be?
No, that's not.
So, like your fourth electrical lineman, if you chose to raise the rate, the base rate, our base rate for electricity right now is 0.04. That pays for the M&O of the grid and the department. So if you go up to 0.0485, should generate enough money to pay for a fourth employee. Right now, you already have 3.
Well, two.
You have 3 budgets.
We have
Yeah,
budgets.
3 budgets, yeah.
You have 3 budgets. And sometimes it plays in our favor too. We have those things that happen, like we can pay the table.
Yeah.
But saying that, you might get, if that was built in there, you would see a revenue increase and it would offset the cost of that line. So you could take that cost off of your recruitment bill, your associate. The code enforcement officer, I would look at that. I think we can do that in-house. I don't think you need a paid officer. A paid officer is much more expensive than a code enforcement.
Yeah.
And so you might be able to save money on that one. And then, the police grant fund budget, that's just because we have to come up with like 20% to write a grant. But if you're like, this year, I'm just gonna try to keep that, or we're gonna go into this unbalanced, right, the money up this year to do that.
We took Bryce to simmer down.
You're telling us never now, yeah. I would love to retain the outcome of all sorts, but, you know, that might be something that you think we're gonna do. I also made some greater projections, if you wanted to get the PD to a certain place over the course of 4 years, I gave them predictions could look like. That way you stagger that progress and tell them, there's light at the end of the tunnel, it's just gonna take you a few years to get there, maybe that gets done. Those are just things to
You know, also painting the golf course could be done in-house. We just buy a good spray rig, let them go down, or rent one. We just buy.
Actually, we bought one. I bought one about 4 years ago to paint some of the stuff, the park and stuff. So we have one.
Yeah, Sean can paint it. Just buy some paint.
Or let Teddy.
Or Teddy can paint it, or yeah.
Somebody with a lot of guys with you.
Somebody can do it.
Just make sure it covers up the windows and don't paint over.
This wasn't,
But in theory, you might get everything you want on
Yeah.
this list for half price if we looked at how could we do it or how are we doing it.
Was there anything specific that y'all are wanting other than what we talked about or what we're doing? I mean, we are talking about economic development, so we are gonna have to get $35,000 somewhere. And So that might be something like what, we generate 35,000, you could go up, 310.
30,000 person, this is 4 years old.
Yeah, 30.
So if we took out, if we substituted the line item that, COVID endorsement.
Wish list thing. Yeah.
Your, yeah, there's the money for the.
Well, do you want to increase your officer pay in addition to the 2%?
Well, we talked about it, 2% from now, we might have to, because I don't know how to put that in there.
I mean, we can,
That's why we think like they start breaking up the budget. You could do that to do it over the course of time.
That's what I mean, just, if we bump it a little bit, and then we're not gonna get enough to, whatever, that, you know, it's something like 1% more than the senior citizen.
But I will say this too, I mean, Chief Sawyer was, you know, he's not running for the sheriff now, but he retires, and he's very, humble and saying he's happy, he's satisfied, I mean, he wasn't like asking the money, or threatening to leave, or anything like that, I thought he feels that, they're in a good position.
I mean, his kids are in kindergarten, so they're not going anywhere until. Well, but yeah,
He knows.
but he's, yeah. From the conversation I had with him, he is definitely willing, he's comfortable where he said he's willing to make this and make Seymour rates as long as his kids and family get to stay here through the school. Like, so, and because Sarah's family's here, everybody's here, so they want to stay together in a family. And he's come to love Seymour since he's been here. Like, so loves it here. And
So Nate, you were saying instead of 2%, give them 3,
Maybe, I was just thinking
just to
that,
give them a little more bump.
just a little bit.
show
I
them
mean,
more
I'm not
love.
really happy, but
How,
at least-
how would that affect the rest of the employees if they got 3 and
That's a
2?
good point too, like, you know, I mean, I don't,
That's why you need this survey. Because if,
I mean, we know our police department's behind.
we know the police department's behind, we don't know what the street
I mean, I think
department
the water
is.
department's behind, and I think the electric department, we know is way under market value, you know, if you work for Tri-County or some other utility company, they start about at 35, 40
Yeah,
bucks an hour.
we are, I mean, it's a unique situation that we have everything in-house.
Well, if we're wanting to increase the police officer budget now, I would say start with figuring out how much we want to increase their pay by. And their increase would come from that and withhold the percentage increase. And start on that tier if you're going to increase it and not do a 2 or 3%. Just make that.
Just say
very-
this is the new base rate. Yes.
Yes.
And so you adjust the base when people have been here, you can just like calculate it based on how long they've been here.
It's whichever way sells better, because you get the same results one way or the
Yeah.
other.
Bryce is not pushing for this real hard as far as
No,
at this
no.
For an
point.
additional officer more than his
Yeah.
rate.
Yes.
Yeah.
The problem is not,
Yes. Yes. I like that.
Instead of a flat rate, we can do like a water department adjustment, alignment of the
Yeah.
police. We can do it by department or by position more than just flat across the board. I mean,
I like that approach.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's more justified than, you know, we got the hours or whatever, $50 hours.
We are saying that go to 2% this year, but then next year.
Start trying to figure
working on
out.
start kind of looking at by
tier two.
position on how to change the base rate and stuff like that, of what makes us more comparable and competitive.
Is that what y'all are saying? 2% and then next year
2% would be,
do a survey or something to see where we're at?
For next year's budget.
and, you know, if we did find doing well, if we adopt that approach, we got the department that drastically
this year, this next year, and then so on and so forth. Yeah, we can do a more strategic approach that way, since we're not exactly at that point right now. So 2% across the board is the easiest way to do it. That way, everybody gets the love. Everybody gets a raise. Everybody likes
No,
it.
not each department can make the same amount of money because it's two, they're all.
Well, we know that. Yeah.
Based on their craft and what they typically would make.
Workload and specialty. So
But I think in the past, they used to run it like that, where these guys gotta make the same amount of money. These department heads gotta make the same amount of money, all that.
Yeah,
I think
but
that's how they
that's
used to
kinda
go about it.
Yeah.
That's not really how you should do it.
No, it doesn't work. That doesn't have any.
And I've been kind of doing some of it on my own anyway. Honestly, I've really bumped up the electric department quite a bit here and one department, because
Yeah, I know we tried to bump them up
Specialized,
some more because they're specials and they're,
And even
when
with
they get their certificates and they get all their certifications, they should be going up as they go. of
Yes.
course. Because that's just, they're working harder to get their certification, they should get more.
we kind of already started down that track.
I know you
To,
did.
to dive.
But having, my experience is eventually they're gonna connect with IT because everybody talks.
Yeah.
And, do kind of one-off deals, it would be better to have some sort of
Back in.
structured approach.
Yeah.
That way,
I agree. That'd be fun. That'd be a
Diverting.
good challenge. Though.
Yeah.
So, but we got plenty of time to do that. So.
There's a.
Take that out of the city manager's salary and kind of,
Sorry.
yeah, sorry, that's
I was
my,
thinking the mayor.
take that, get my 9604.
Does this new budget, does that put in is this an increased 20,000 for dilapidated property, or is it just to continue what we've been doing?
That's the total.
That's what we were, it's just saying we want to do it again this year.
20,000 for the dilapidated property.
Yes.
So that was, we had to
Yeah.
It's already in there.
Yeah, and that's,
Just to make sure y'all want to
That's-
continue doing that.
and that's reduced, I mean, from what
Yes,
it,
I think
from what it
We
was.
started off at 50, then we dropped down to 30 over the golf course issue, then I dropped down to 20 in this.
Right, we kind of were throwing the line at first, but I think it's great. I think that has been a tremendous. progress
That's a
across
win.
the city.
That's a win.
And people in those neighborhoods are super happy and thankful whenever we do it, whenever it happens. I mean, how many can we do with 20, do you think?
I think we can do more
I
than
don't
what
know if we
Ronnie
can
has time
keep up with it.
So not all of them meet the criteria. I've been at a building coming off a month ago, and he said, I applied, I was trying to work on it. Yes, and in 30 days, he walked back in my office and he said, I think I'm gonna build houses on that lot. He said, so I don't.
Mr. Franklin.
And, which he, I think legitimately would.
He cleaned the lot up.
So I see it in two different veins. I think people are gonna wanna invest in what they have. And then, getting stuff complete is what it's.
No.
Like they don't,
Yeah.
because, and so what I think we need to do is put together this housing plan and tell them about it. Because it sounds weird to be like, hey, will you give me your spot? But when you're like, I can use it and do this, and give it to this person and they put your house on it.
They might be like, I'll get rid of this
And they're
tax
like,
burden.
I'm gonna get
Yeah,
rid of it. 3 years of taxes on it or whatever.
yeah, it's a burden. I
And
don't want
now
it.
we're in a different conversation.
And I want to make sure the council also knows, y'all tell me different than good, but, I guess this is a public meeting, but the houses next to Dairy Queen, I am going to go to the sheriff's sale, and I am going to offer up $20,000 to try to buy those properties. I think that's so important, and part of our economic development plan would be tied into using that property to bring in maybe a fast food restaurant or something other. Because if we don't, my fear is somebody's going to buy that for $500, and then they're going to turn that into an RV park or a barn or.
Yeah.
And then we add that to our, into your portfolio, what assets you do have. And there again, you go to a franchise fund that has
Let's,
located, ready.
let's keep that on the down low. Because,
Well, you just said it on a live
Well, that's kind of how
It
they
just-
budget, so, I just want to make sure y'all were aware of
Yeah,
that, so. Okay, so what I hear the council saying right now, y'all are, support what we have in here at this point in time with the 2%, the proposed tax rate, and, with the ag officer and,
So let's make the assumption we just hear this down to. I'm talking about. Let's make the assumption we just hear down the wish list to. A lot of it, to your point, is already in the budget. I think it is. And then some of it have. We put two of them to vote.
We put the pavement road in the budget.
but some of them come from a grant. Grants, hopefully we'll get at least 1 or 2 grants throughout the year. We can tackle a few.
Do we do the paving that Cool Street in there with?
Is that in the budget or is
That is not in the budget, but Ronnie did say that he thinks, well, he said they can do it. And, they have the tools and resources to do that, and I think we can do that at a much lower cost. I thought we had to bring a contractor in here. I totally did understand, and, but Ronnie feels confident we can do that.
can they do the police parking lot too?
They could chip and seal it. Now, how about, look like, I'd like it to look like the one at the, Harvest Church, they
Yeah.
just did that parking lot.
Yeah.
That's what I would like for that one to look like.
Yeah.
But they could do a chip and seal on it, and I think they clean that off and, put oil on it, that I think it's like, let's do more.
You're saying Ronnie could do that for way less than 250,000?
Oh, yes.
What you're saying.
And now that we have our old tank
Yeah.
now, and, we've had a nice gift, text done, so, yeah.
And I would say number 18 off. That was not a formal request. That, I would say that number 18 was a formal request. It wasn't a formal request.
Okay. Yep, it does.
I would love for you to be able to, you just talked about what you legally can and can't do.
Exactly.
With that, there may be other ways that you can participate in it, but a straight donation is probably off the table. And like I said, the Millville Milford did not come out to these counties, when we went to ask them to potentially absorb our payroll. They said, have you gone to the other entities? And so that's why that's on there, but
The play structure, is that not something that's grant possible or anything like that?
Well, I know that Florida has done a park small lot grant before.
I just was going down the list, yeah.
not Parks and Wildlife. I did the webinar this year and we only did it.
So, we really need to.
I think the main thing,
Well, I put that in there because there is a spot out there, and I thought it'd be nice to add something to it. With the top quality, but I would just put that on there.
it could be facilitated by you.
Yeah, that could be something.
They raised the considerable amount. So, if that was one of their.
What happened to the handicap too? Can they raise money through that in there?
What Helping Hands was trying to do for, they were trying to make a handicap accessible area.
We put something in there, did we not? Or did,
I think
We
that
talked about it, but we never put it in.
we would probably do that for. They're not gonna be able to raise. That's not gonna. But.
150.
I think 159 is what the last quote that we got for the siren system.
Yeah. Mobile Phone of Texas is who John is talking to, and maybe they could come in. A lot of this is radio, or they can make it radio controlled. So,
I mean, I hate to just. Not do anything.
oh, I agree. No,
It's a lot of money, but I think we ought to leave some money.
I think we should leave that in there just in case. Maybe Mobile Phone of Texas comes back and says, we can get you going for 30 grand, or 20 grand or something. Wishful thinking, but still. Yeah.
If it didn't
Ye-
work.
Yes,
Sure,
yes.
That might be something, I mean, you're talking about your tax rate, if you raise it up to 159.
Siren.
Just try that, say, well, we have the money for the siren system, so we thought that was important, and that's how we're gonna pay for that, I mean, they might support that.
Yeah, 100%.
My phone and
That's hard
and
to
my
not- to be
Alexa and my
against, you know.
TV throw off alerts faster than the sirens do. I know about it way before the sirens go off. I mean, I know there's still our median population, I think age is like 15 and a half and up in Seymour. So
We
it's,
talked about that with phone protector or something from the massive deal.
we get it. Yeah. John sends them. That's what I was saying. I mean, I'm saying that like for maybe the lower portion of our median age of Seymour is up to date on all that in their phones and TVs and everything. We're going to alert them, but then I mean, I'm not saying that 50 is old, but our median age is 50.5. So I mean, there's a section above that. There's a section above that that may not be so savvy, and so those are the people that are relying on the sirens. Yeah. 150s.
Yeah,
I can't believe that's not something you get a grant. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't either. I mean,
like of all the things.
Yeah.
so
all
I'm
the
trying to
things.
save lives here. We
Yeah.
can't get a grant on that?
we can get,
Can't get some
we
kind
can
of
get you a
federal-
merry-go-round, but we can't get you a siren, you know, or something.
Identify where we could write a grant for Homeland Security, where we already have something budgeted in that we could release the funds.
Right.
We've done that. Or with the PD, something like we could write a grant for what we already have planned for.
Yeah.
Then that would free up.
All right.
Emergency management system areas.
We do it by phone. You can sign up for, phone tech, and it does work. I get them.
Yeah, John sends them out.
And we partner with pay for a portion of that already. So my calculation, if I take out what we can, what we're already doing in that budget, and blah, 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 I'm thinking I did not put the legislature in there, then you might throw it. So did you keep your mayor council rate, I did that at 10. I think we should.
Yeah, we voted not, or,
We voted not to do that. I wasn't here for
well,
that one.
Billy left, I think.
I'm not here for that either.
Yeah, we
Billy,
weren't here for
Billy
that.
left, he
I
had to
just-
leave
we're-
early.
I mean, comparable to other cities, we're under paid or whatever,
I don't know.
which is fine. I know we are. I do.
I
mean,
did a
know
phone
that.
survey of several, Owl Park, Henrietta, Alney. Most of them don't pay anything.
I've never contemplated it.
Do you still want to do your mouth exercise playlist?
Yeah. I think that's one of those things that could probably wait, honestly. So,
What if you take that out?
Tell me what that is, please.
Where is, it's the deal that they drive up to the valves and it goes down and it works the valves and keeps them loose. Because what happens, they sit there for 50 years and all of a sudden they have a leak and they find the valve and they can't get it.
And then I did include the economic development contract, just so you know what that is. So all of your wish list comes up to 215.
Is that minus the mayor and council raise? That they
That's
just said?
without the council rate, without the play structure, without the foul.
Yep.
And then.
No Core Street. And then what about the
I put
code enforcement
forward-
officer?
No, we took that out.
I put
that out.
that out and did the echo, my ADO there,
Nothing, properties aren't in
35K.
there.
Number 12, I marked that down to 75K. I'm trying to think of Plainview. It might be closer to 100,000, but the contract is on there. Repaint the outside of the golf course, $3,000.
That might be less than that. Yeah.
And then, included the transformers in there. And the wells included 3, 4, and 6 as it was. I did not, do anything with the siren system. I don't know how you want to.
Well, I have, as a siren system, what we've already, I think you're looking at like $200,000.
I've got to go out the.
But I still think that, John and I've already talked, I still think we can plug some wells with our current budget, you know. We're not gonna do everything, but we could do one, we're talking about just doing 1 or 2 a year.
We need to do something because they send me a certified mail about once a year saying, you,
So I don't think we need additional.
you know,
And the fact, I still think we have some fund balances we can, spend too, as well.
So are we gonna talk about that later?
But, I hope after we get this budget done, we're gonna really focus on that one, Suzanne and I, and, trying to,
Give us some good
get
numbers.
too, and, you know, it's hard for us to raise taxes, obviously, if we got.
Yeah, $10 million in the bank. But,
Is there
well,
So basically, I
something-
didn't guess anything I want, we get fund balance.
Yes.
something, the lawsuit thing? Is there, in a world that it doesn't work out in our favor, how much are we gonna need in this budget to pay the legal fees for all this?
we're paying as we go.
And then we're gonna get reimbursed as the client, as
No idea,
potentially?
well, what we hope we do.
It'd be nice.
I'm saying, I was
Yeah.
looking at the devil's advocate.
Yeah,
I wanted to be
yeah.
prepared for the,
Yes.
Go through the litigation,
Yeah, I'll-
that's what we plan on, but
Okay.
right now, we're still zeroed in, right in October to do a mediation.
that's what I mean, I wasn't worried about the timeline of it. I know
Yeah.
we're on top of that. I was more worried about the negative side of it if it doesn't work out in our favor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was thinking
We're
as
just
budget
wondering
wise,
what it's been on legal fees and then.
Yeah.
but we've been paying as we go, right?
Yeah.
So we aren't gonna
We
know
owe that.
anything at the end.
Let me mention this. I'm sorry, Billy, I didn't mean to step on you. We're gonna have a citizen at the next meeting about the brown water thing. And is there money in here? We don't know. Jeff did some checking. There's 3 options, replace pipe, make a loop, or put some valves in. And I think they're still looking at that, are they not? Jacob and Martin.
Well, I had a conversation with Jacob Martin, and they told us we could flush the valves, we could flush the lines, which we already do. We could put automatic valves in, which takes it, because they don't think that makes any sense for them to do it themselves anyway. Or we could replace the line. But my understanding is that this line that they've had trouble with is a lot more of the main lines that we actually did replacing. So,
This is down on the end of South Foley. This is in the west part of town, this part of town.
okay.
So the Martins, Pam and Johnny Frank, and she got more brown water the other day.
Pictures in.
Yes, and she's coming to the next meeting. And so I'm just saying, I wish there was some money where there's like 4 or 5 areas in town that we could address, whether it's you take out 100 feet of pipe. Jacob and Martin would be the ones to tell us, would this actually improve the water? Or do you got to take out 1,000 feet of pipe? I mean, I don't know.
So it's gotta be associated with plugging the line, so.
So that too, and Chase says it's worse in the summer because of the heat, the work that's there, it's hot, so that's always worse in the summer. I know he said that, but, I don't think they're gonna resolve it by replacing 100 or 200. I think it's gonna take a lot more than that. We are applying this, grant currently right now with the Georgia Development Board, and we're gonna place a lot more pipe if we get that grant. But, I don't know if there is any real immediate solution to this problem. I think what we're doing right now is improving our infrastructure, we continue, every year to replace pipe, and I think we just gotta continue on that trend.
So this is where I'm getting, how much, like, area have we, do we have a 5-year pipe replacement plan?
No, we'll have to decide, but every time we apply for a grant, and we identify another section that we feel like will qualify for the economic.
So maybe that's what we need to know. Here's our approach to this.
That's definitely part of it. It would cost us 25 grand probably, but, usually something like that.
Or-
I thought they were looking at it now. Are they not looking at it any further, or right as we speak? Are they looking at anything to give us any guidance, I guess is what I'm asking. Jacob and Martin.
Well, the last conversation we had with them was on the groundwater issue, and what we can do. Also, just on that current particular grant, Chase has identified a section of the line that needs to be replaced, and he's like, most vulnerable. But I do like that idea, to say we can't fix everything now.
That's what I was trying to.
Let's do 1,000 feet or 500 or 300 feet a year, somewhere.
But if you really want to make a point, you could come up with a plan, so I replace all of it, it'll cost $2.6 million. dollars. You wanna ask the community, you wanna pass a bond, to replace every single water line in town, and this is what it.
Yeah. Yes.
And so, to me, this, okay, here are those little areas, here's what we have in place, here's
Yes.
our plan, over the next, you know, if you want to do it all at once, then I know it's personnel to go, but here's the price tag, if you want it all at once. We have to raise that. Or here's the plan.
Yeah.
So you're going, like you said, some idea.
Start.
We already have that essentially, because they're doing it piece by piece right now, every time they do it. So is adding more money gonna, I mean, they have the guys that are working on it as we go. They just have to identify. Sometimes because she has groundwater doesn't necessarily mean that her pipe's more vulnerable to issues. So they have to actually go and take care of the people that may lose their water completely before we deal with her every once in a while groundwater.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I would be insane if I had this multiple times a month. You know, I would be up here every day going. Exactly.
So are they at the end of the lines, is what's happening? I think so.
That's what they get.
Are they at the end of the line?
Yes.
Yes.
There's about 4 areas within town that's in the line, and that water just pulls in there and it sits there. And it
It's
collects
hot.
all this dirty water and it just backs up. And knocks seven people's lives.
That in the, if there was additional development done on that particular house, in the only place that there is a bunch of space to do development, if it was large enough, it would require a larger line and large seclusion. So afford us the opportunity to connect things that we haven't been able to connect before. And if it's a large enough investment, we could have the governor's office for us, for instance. So there could be opportunity to fix that specific problem, because there was development opportunity there too, that regardless if it is a medium-sized one or a mortuary hotel. Neither one of those things are impossible, but will require a larger line. So it could be development.
I think that your answer to your question is, I think, the response is, if it's on the agenda, say that we are progressively, replacing lines right now, but we are planning on putting in a comprehensive, 5 or 10 year plan with our engineer to replace all the lines that directly impact the groundwater in these given areas.
Starting there.
Depending on our financial resources, then we'll replace those as quickly as we can. If the community feels like that we need to do a huge bond and spend a couple $1 million, that's going to cost our taxpayers heavily, but if that's important to you, then that's what we'll do.
When you say a citizen's coming, is she wanting it on the agenda, or she's coming to make that citizen?
I think it's citizens comment, I think is what.
We can't respond to it.
Yeah, can't respond anyway, but Mark said he might put that on as a.
But I have talked to her and
So
told
what
her
about
we
the
are
automatic
addressing.
valves that flush? Can be put on each end of the line, just flush it out every time? Does it do it like every day? When does it do
You
it?
probably set it however you want.
So it seems like to me that, I don't know why Jay said that wouldn't, that sounded like to me a good idea, because they ain't gonna do it every day or all the time anyway.
They do it once a month.
Well, exactly. Once a month they ain't doing it, that's where they're getting brown water once a month. If it did weekly, they'd probably never get brown water at all. So,
Maybe they just put it on a schedule and do it weekly, something like that. Yeah. Well, I think,
I'll run that by him and ask him.
I think it needs to be addressed. It's just money. Up on the hill, I think.
There's one on the hill like Charles Hill, somewhere up there, and there's one on the hill like Tower Oak.
Yes. Jeff, I remember
you
Jeff.
might ask him, I'm just curious, because that seems,
I'll run that by him.
seems like to me it just solved the problem right there.
If you did this more frequently, then maybe we'd never get to that
Yes.
point.
Because it ain't gonna
So
sit
it
in
gets
there long enough.
Actually, the one on South Browning could potentially be lower elevation because it's closer to that creek, and I don't know if it goes that way, but
if this is regionalized too, but when they have to really watch about water loss, water loss is high, I think the more you flush, that increases that, and that can pull up a red flag too with PCT as well. So there might be some other variables, that I'm not aware of, why they do it that way as well. But I'll let them check.
I know you're searching on the planning today, but, I don't know if that is, but I think that's why I did. Everybody that,
Well, and flushing actually creates.
We can make room, because it's gotta clean out all the red.
Yeah, it stirs it up.
I always say, I tell her,
It's,
I'm not washing foot.
But it's pretty gross. I see them turn on those valves, and it's like just a big old
sludge.
sludge comes out, and then it thins up, and it runs, and, it's clear.
I didn't mean to get too off on that. Go ahead, Jeff. We're,
So, let's just reiterate on our proposal, I'll tell you what I thought I heard, stay with the 2%, and we'll look at our fund balance to maybe cover some of these other, things here, and, good order. All right, so the next thing I want to run by y'all too, I know you're getting tired, but, also in your packet, you have, the city council talking point use of public funds for community organizations. And Skylar kind of already touched on that one. So the city gives money, $4,000 to the library, each year, $40,150 to the Loudoun County, museum. We give, I had it written up here, how much money, Lauren, do you remember, to the, museum?
No,
They want to ask for like, to buy a ticket or do a door project, but we do not donate any money to the government.
Well, I saw that, but I'll.
And I would say that if you were going to do some sort of something to that, I would do it under economic development.
Oh, that's up to the hot board, that's
Hot
right,
board.
that's where we
Hot
get more money, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, my bad.
makes
Okay. So,
Yeah.
anyway, I can't remember, I think this all came up, I think, when Laura had mentioned, the Meals on Wheels, and then, we did some research, and I did send an email to our legal counsel, because, Mark had reached out to the, attorney from PMO, which didn't tell us anything, and so I kind of took that information, and I plugged it into, AI, and that's what kind of where we got this information, but there's 3 questions the council should ask before you give, public money to any of these different entities. Is clearly defined public purpose, what specific city purpose is being accomplished, how does this expenditure benefit the citizens of Seymour, is the predominant purpose public, rather than simply being a donation, helping the organization, so to speak, is the city receiving a return benefit? And so, I mean, a lot of those questions, I think, when we give, we can answer correctly, but there is one caveat on here, is that you'll have to remain some kind of control. So
Yeah.
just give money to an entity. And,
it's a donation.
Yeah, it's a donation. So y'all need to think about, if we're going to do this, y'all have to make sure, and I think we could get some guidance from our legal counsel on how we can make sure that y'all are covered and not.
Well,
vulnerable for that.
Giving the taxpayers money to charitable cause
it,
Well,
well,
so in a lot of places, when they have a chamber of commerce like that, they have some kind of control. Like they know they have a direction that's given to them from the city. If they're their own individual entity and we're just throwing a pot of money at them, like you said, there's no control of it, so they can do.
But we don't know how to spend the money. They don't give us any receipts, or we don't have.
Right, that's what I was.
We
No.
just on good faith. And
Right.
so if an auditor or someone come in and ask you, how did you know they spent the money?
Yeah.
In that way, that fashion, we say, oh, well, we trust them. I don't think that's.
I won't hold up in court. Yeah.
we
Of
trusted.
course.
No, that was a concern. It's like the library. What do we get? $4,000 from Baylor County Free Library. We have no control over that. I mean, there's a community benefit, but it's the control thing, or a contract is like, no. So that one's pretty clear cut.
I don't know the librarian necessarily. Yeah.
So the library has their own 501c3, Springfield Library, that they raise money. I'm not on the board, but we raise money to fund programs. And then from what I can remember from being on that board, either that $4,000 used to, when the latest Lego was the librarian, we knew exactly what we were buying. I want to say she gave us invoices for the book. So we knew what we bought. But after that, I want to say it was more like it was, we were paying for the, like we were providing.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing for the music.
Well,
I think.
Here's my question too. So on the chamber though, bingo, if y'all wanna use taxpayer dollars to fund bingo, I mean, there was some of the increase that I think that we saw. Independence Day, the fireworks now, I don't know if they actually spend all that money or not. What do they do with the excess money? You know, they get a bargain on it. I don't know if they spend all that money or not. Memorial Day, $100. I'm not sure what that is. Single Walker Fire Department dinner is $200. And that's total market. I don't know how or why we fund that. That's something y'all need to enter. Lauren, can you give me insight? I mean, the
Yes.
salary off of the chamber with advertising and then just,
So the,
what is our retirement question? Yes, thank you.
your return of investment, I agree. The bingo thing, we are already providing them a facility, utilities, a television,
Monitor, yeah.
yeah, monitor, a location, parking lot. I mean, you name it. There's a lot of
And a
that at the
custodian.
same time.
I got in
We
trouble.
also include their
Yeah.
chamber bill is free. They don't pay for their utilities, the building is provided, and we have been paying for upkeep of that, air conditioner, water heater, they have been, that shouldn't be the case, but it's kind of one of those, when you own the building, if you don't take care of it, it might not get taken care of in any other place. So what, the fireman's dinner. So here's the historical issue we had with the fireman's dinner. They all want steak. Very good. And they can feed them chicken. They don't firemen don't want chicken.
And it's very poorly attended in my opinion. I mean, Mark and I think
Yeah,
over here.
yeah.
and,
it's not, it's pretty
I
weak.
tried to make, I didn't make it last
Now,
time.
the mistletoe market, I would say that you actually see a return of investment because we do collect those tax dollars.
And they,
Every bit of
they do
it
pretty good on that.
on that,
yeah.
that is an injection of economic development into your downtown. People come out, it is community, it's just as good as if you had an event, really. And it is, but I think you see the return of investment for that. A raffle, no. Santa in the park, no. Veterans Memorial Day, no. There's no return of investment in any of that. There's no, we already invest in the park by providing all the electricity for all the lights for the park thing. And then this past year, Jeff and I and the girls in the utility office did hot chocolate out of the wheelhouse to increase.
So did Billy and Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, y'all came.
Yeah.
And so, sorry about that, not to slack you on that. But, I mean, that, and so I think it went really well.
It did. There was a lot of people came
It's a lot
through
of
there.
fun too.
It
We had
was.
cost in that. We bought the chocolate, we did the deal.
Yeah,
and it
it's
was
our deal.
that was our portion of it. And we paid for all the lights for the entire time
Hmm?
that the lights.
They
were lit.
budgeted out 27-50%.
Not even including, every year we inject about $6 to $8 grand just to expand the life.
Yes, and make sure that we have all the boards and then whatever that they need, the demand that they need to make that happen.
So about what did we pay last year?
And
10,000 total,
No,
Not-
they,
not
what they asked
counting
for,
we
we asked,
but not
And they
counting for
want-
the utilities, not counting.
no, that's
for-
just straight money.
That's
So,
just,
I have not worked on their budget since Christy White was their person. And she and I sat down and I said, look, you need to tell us what you want to spend this money. And so we went line item by line. We're gonna get so many hours of work as the visitors bureau from their employees, so that was salary. We're gonna get fireworks, you're gonna do fireman's banquet, we'll supply this, we didn't want to organize it. These are the very specific things that we were willing to give money to. That totaled up $9,000, they presented it, we approved it. This one that is for 2025, the awards and plaques, the chamber window cleans, computer program fees, graphic design, postage, PO, all of that is associated with a membership-based organization's operational costs. That has absolutely zero to do with the city.
Right.
The golf scramble is a, what do you call it, fundraiser for them. I don't know why we would give them $4,000 for a golf scramble.
Do we give them, do we charge them anything for,
Well, I told this to
course.
Jeff the
That
other
could
day.
be what you
I
do.
told Jeff, I said, let's donate the course to them
for that tournament? Yeah.
for that tournament, because they're trying to raise money for it. We can donate the course.
But this was my question, and I'm a chamber supporter. I really am, because I believe that chambers are
They're
important.
important, yeah.
However, what is your community return of investment from this chamber? You're getting 10 bingos, mistletoe market, and that Christmas in the park is Kay Bradley.
No, it's the city of Seymour.
Well, but it was organized and done, and the thing, Kay Bradley family.
Yeah,
was
right,
about
yeah,
it.
100%.
So, what are you getting from the chamber? What is your community getting?
What is your return on your investment?
What is the return of your, and you get a
Legally, we have to
fireworks, I'm
end
sorry, you get a fireworks show. But
Because then,
most of your employees are the ones shooting off the fireworks. All they're doing is ordering it. If I can order you fireworks, you can order fireworks. You can order them. We don't have to pay
Well, they do
them.
get out there and cook some hot dogs and serve some drinks.
Yes,
but that's
But
volunteer.
also on the
Yeah.
fireworks show, can we not pay $3,000 towards the fireworks? They pay $3,000.
And make it a joint.
Make it a joint deal? Because it, I mean,
We're already-
it's kind
we're
of
already
joint.
letting
Are they
use-
willing to do
we're-
that?
Huh?
They're not willing to spend. the
But
money.
we're already letting them use the golf course, and we're not charging them for that, are we? When they come out there and we're not charging them, so what?
Free office space, I mean, there's
There's,
So a lot of times the chambers, what you hope to get return investment is that they're posting jobs and they're helping people find jobs and they're helping the employers that are in the chamber find people, like they do things like that, and I don't.
a question to our community is, how can we partner with more
Out of the chamber.
value out of the relationship?
Well, and here's the other thing. Part of the salary is paid out of your hotel occupancy. A third of the chamber salary is paid out of hotel occupancy. Because they operate out of your visitor bureau. I would be really mad. My visitor bureau was a little tucked in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of my park, little walk building, and poor signage. That's my visitor. My visitor bureau ought to be in front of that museum. Because that's where my visitors are coming. My visitor bureau ought to be downtown. My visitor bureau ought to be easily accessible and locatable on a Google map.
I didn't know it was even a chamber thing until I
Matter
started.
of fact, I lived in Carolina, I didn't know that was there until,
I knew it was there. I just thought it was abandoned the whole time.
I still couldn't find it.
Do-
So I think kind of the reason, I think what I'm hearing is all of this is we don't have a lot of, that would solve that problem. Just to have a
Well, I
policy.
think that'd be such a, I don't think that's a good decision. I think we just need some accountability.
do we need our legal people to create a contract that states what are the expectations, what return we expect to get from the money?
Well, I think that,
We got a legal question. We don't want to
I think the
illegally.
was more about like the librarian and all that stuff because or any of it, I guess.
it really is all of it. You got to show and
Yeah.
demonstrate, have a level of control, and you got to show that there is
A benefit to the,
community.
We already
we got to be accountable for the money and,
Well,
and,
that's what I need to know right
and-
now.
and
because I need to
defensible.
Make that adjustment.
$16,000 on bingo. Did I see that right?
That we pretty much support the funds, and then at the second thing is,
So, I mean, they had a
I,
negative
I,
towards that.
I don't think,
I think we need a city council member, the mayor that sits on that city council
that
chamber,
on the board.
just like with everything else. That way, that to me, that would show somewhat control, and then we can come back and know what you're talking about and what you're going to do, where that money's been spent.
Well, we have no reason to diminish any, I mean, we do so much. I mean, we really do. And then I don't get any bad feedback. So, I get the cold shoulder occasionally for different, whatever. But anyway, we do a lot. We just need accountability and that kind of thing.
I wouldn't
Do-
have talked to him without that.
That would be a good question to ask. Maybe Nancy could ask that.
I'm not micing.
What else you got, Jim?
We'll bring it back to y'all. Yeah, I have enough direction right now. All I really need now is the insurance.
still working.
So said.
You just did a great job. I appreciate that.
Jeff, I'll just say that I can't think of a much harder job than city manager because you've been here 5.5 years.